Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of TacoBytes, your daily bite of Degen, episode number 349. Oh man, it has been a day. We apologize for setting the show back half an hour, and rather than setting this show back, I was like, well, we are gonna go with the show. Just finished up a really cool meeting with a new gaming company that's building an IRL game board. Actually targeting non-degens. And one of the cool things that they have in that is a really big aspect towards Web3 without people needing to know that they're in Web3, and that's where we're going to see a ton of mass adoption. And so one of the things that you get to join me for is, while I wait for just a minute and finish up this email, we're going to just sort of chill out and hang out for a second, and I'm going to find this track. We're going to play some music for a minute. Crypto Mom, I see you there. Would love, if you want to come up and have the floor for a minute, set the tone for Builders Are Gonna Build. Cool shit. Happy to have you up. As a great distraction to what we are doing. And just want to give a quick shout out to everyone that is joining us via Twitter, YouTube 1, YouTube 2, Telegram, Twitch, Discord, LinkedIn, and Xenon. I've been having a lot of fun with Xenon. I'm just literally just posting videos on chain, trying to get followers by creating content. I think I sort of get that to happen. So, it's amazing, it's one of those things where we have a lot of fun doing things. We're slowly building things out, and it's just going on and building up. Crypto Mom, how are you? GM.
How are you? No, it's good to finally make it on one of your shows. I think I came on one of them and it was like the end. So I'm quite busy. I've got kids. I'm running around. It's the summer. But I feel like I know you, even though we don't really know each other, because I hear a lot about you through Crypto Little.
Oh, man. Crypto Little. She's amazing. I hope it's all good.
All good. She's like, you have to go to his spaces. So I was like, yeah, I'm definitely going to try that.
Okay. Yeah. No. It's one of those things where the daily show is, one, crypto gives us enough to talk about every single day, but finding about what really matters to people, or what matters to me, is what I sort of make this show about. But I talk about a lot what's going on the daily, and really sort of pushing forward. I know you're not, so there's video up on the Jumbotron. You can, there's a lot been going on in regulation attempts this past week, and we've seen a lot of centralized censorship, and we can all focus on the FUD and the burning down of things, but I really like to sort of just see builders building cool shit. We can go hang out with the people that just want to talk crud all day, or we can talk about the building stuff.
100%. I think we all need to stick together, really, because, we're all on the same page. If you're into crypto, you should be into decentralization. And also, I think, it is about building. Let's just concentrate on the positive things, and move forward, really, Too many negative vibes sometimes, and I'm not for that. I'm all about positivity, building, moving forward, learning.
Yeah. And that's sort of what we go through here, is this is all learnings. Shout out to Troy. I see you on Xenon. I'm looking at like 5 different screens right now, cut and pasted into my laptop. So it's sort of interesting on finding everything. So if I get distracted by something, I apologize. But what you were saying, it's, we we focus. People want that, they like it for entertainment reasons or whatever, but all it does is feed and fuel the fire. And what's really crazy is, if these people dislike something so much, why are they still around? And unfortunately, we have to look at things with a double uh, double sword, you know, and literally, because we got to try to cut through the noise that's coming out in blockchain. If you're talking so much junk about a project, why are you still hanging around? Oh, well, the most obvious thing is the classic: talk something down so much that everyone else sells it. Even sell some of yours to make it look like you're getting out of it. People dump more, and then people go and buy that up. And that's just that's not the cool way of doing things, And it's done over and over and over again. And so we find really cool ways, getting to be part of a cool group that is working on building nodes for uh, um, X1 Fastnet. Um, you know, it's sort of fun. Um, you know, uh, and like that, we look at building nodes and validators like needing, mining operations that are huge. This can be done on a Raspberry Pi or a cell phone, and you're just providing support and distributing the compute power, which is really cool.
So are you to do that for Zen? Are you going to be?
I'm looking at that. Yeah, I have 2 Raspberry Pis. I have a handful of extra cell phones because I'm one of those guys that people find it weird that I have a bunch of cell phones. And I'm like, well, the reason you buy a new cell phone is because you lost the old one. And
I have a bunch of cell phones too, because
yeah.
I have, they get slow, they get old, you need to upgrade.
Yeah. And so it's one of those things.
Yeah, I'm looking into that, but there's so many things that it's not top of the list, I must admit. Yeah. Did you get into the bitmaps?
I have a bitmap or two that someone has for me. And then I know there's a lot of stuff going on there within the inscription piece as well, which is really cool to see the inscription. And then there's also now people are doing ETH inscriptions as well.
It moves so fast, really. Like, I was away for a little while. I had family stuff going on, and I felt like a week was like a month in crypto. You come back, you're like, I've got a lot to catch up. So today and tomorrow, I'm basically just going to be catching up on my YouTube and trying to catch up on spaces and see what I missed, really, because it moves fast. Yeah,
it does. It does move fast. Well, that's one of the things that there's so much out there to not really know what to follow and what to stick with, which sort of sucks. If people are hunting for those quick turns, those quick makes, then you don't really get a chance to be part of a community. If if you're in it for the long haul, then that sort of gives you a chance to see it a little differently as well.
Yeah. Normally when I get into projects, I normally do, most of the projects I've got into, I've always thought about it as I'm longing. It's not like a quick flip. But I think I do need to get better at like taking profit earlier.
Profit can be one of the hardest things we do in blockchain, because we get tied to it, and we, but what makes them better and to make faster and sooner decisions and stuff like that is taking that initial investment, as profit, once you can get that and still hold a position, that's where we get into that terminology, magic internet money. But really, it's just like, any financial instrument. If you're able to take out your initial investment and still have a hold on it, you still get to have a say in what happens to that,
100%, and that's what I've tried to tell my husband this, but he doesn't. He's like, no, but I want to wait till it gets to this. Like, we make a 20x or this, and I'm like, no, we just take our profit, and yeah, and I've done it recently. I'm getting better at it. I think the more you do it, the easier it gets, actually.
Yeah.
And I've just set goals for myself. When it gets to this, I'll take this much, and goals. But yeah, I haven't really sold Zen, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because I have expectations.
I have expectations with Zen as well. I think what we might be seeing, like personally, especially as like people are like rehashing some of the old stuff that we fought through to be where we're at. I look at it. It's an 8-year plan. So we're 1 year into it.
Yeah, I think pretty soon, like in a year or so, get harder to mint, and then I think we'll see the value really, and then people, I think like a light switch will go on, and people will be like, damn, like I don't know, I don't want to sell it so easily. I don't want to burn it so easily because it's going to become more valuable all of a sudden. That's what I think.
I agree with you. I think I had this weird epiphany the other night that, like, as we're looking at what everyone is doing on ETH, that might move for a change for people to find value in other chains, and that might really push that forward for a lot of things. So
yeah.
Yeah.
So, what do you think of like X1 chain? Are you about it?
Am I bullish about it?
Yeah.
Yes, I think that will be a really cool interoperable play. Because, and the reason I use interoperable is because Jack is wanting to do what people have been talking about and what we see a lot of projects that have been building. And so it's I use the waterfall effect. We have all of these different waterfalls, all of these different chains, sort of cascading into one. And so that's sort of where I really like to see the push of Zen, is because people wonder, how is it going to create value? Well, you have one thing that is pushing value across, all sorts of different aspects and all different avenues. And so to get onto a chain, if that is the way of doing it, that lays for a really good process, because it allows anyone with access, and so it makes it permissionless, and then you don't have to also rely on a third party. By burning the Zen, you get into the X1, so then it makes it also trustless. You don't have to rely on a third party, and you don't need permission from a third party. So I think that that's something that's going to be really interesting there. What is needed is devs galore, projects building on, projects using it, infrastructure. Like, everyone wants to make the next Uniswap fork. Everyone wants to make perpetuals, futures, DEX, an NFT flat platform. But what we need to see is where integration is used at an infrastructure level, that will really start to apply things. I think Jack, I don't know everything about, his Zen GBT thing, but if he's that's a very good infrastructure piece. What that looks like, distributed compute power, or to use it, or how, where we get into a little bit of I guess not a fight, but like use case and comparison. Why would I rather use this one over that one? Like, because I met with these kids from Columbia University and Brown that are working with like MIT, and they created a GPT called GPT, so financial GPT, that it has access to live data, market data, 10K reports, and it's supposed to be used hand in hand.
I agree with you about
yeah,
building thing too. Like, I think we need some more builders on there, and I do think it will come. I think Jack's doing a great job. He's going to other communities. The whole VMPX. I don't know if you got any of that, but I'm quite bullish on that.
Yeah.
But I think that, like, for the bitmap community, that's what I like about that too, is that there's like, it seems to be like all the communities coming together, and I want that for Zen. I want all the communities coming together, because I think Zen is amazing. I think it can do really well. I don't know if so many people know about it. I mean, obviously Hexicans, Zenians, and some kind of Bitcoin degens, but I'm not sure how else we kind of spread the word and get more builders to come.
Yeah. Well, so what we'll need is, once the blockchain is developed, like the applications that want to use it, I think Jack needs to settle on first which chain he's going to use, because he has X1 and he has, the fastnet. So figuring out which variation he wants to use and build and use as a launching pad will be the first aspect of that. And where we go after that, I think, will be the next step. Does this become, will there be ZK rollups into it and using it for processing permissions, for access to things? How, what is it? Is it going to be a gaming chain? Is it going to be a commerce
chain? I can't hear anything.
Oh, can you hear me now? I
Sorry, can you hear me? Did I rug? I went upstairs. I'm having building work, so
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I would drop down and come back because I can't hear anything.
All right, I'll give you the thumbs up on that. So as I was saying, I sort of see the aspect of X1 allowing for builders to sort of have a chance to build out new platforms that allow for people to build on. What we see is do they become a dead chain, or do they become something that other people can build off of? And like how far are we going to push that, and how many devs are we going to help integrate that with? Unfortunately, what that comes to a lot of the times is incentivizations, and we don't, Jack has pretty much written those out. So where do we attract people? We attract them with users. Well, hey, we have this many users. And so I think we need, like, Jack will need to work on, an aspect for that, I think, to really sort of address how many users are using the chain, to incentivize people to be like, hey, like, there's a lot of users over here. Let's go build on this. And that happens at like hackathons, bridge camps, and all sorts of different aspects for people to sort of build on. Are you back? Can you hear me?
I can't hear you. I don't know if I missed the beginning of that.
Oh, no. I was just continuing with what you were talking about.
Yeah, I caught that. Yeah. Jack did say he would give builders some X in if they build on it, though. So I guess that's something. Are you like doing any of the protocols? Have you been burning for anything? Are you looking forward to the 333 auctions?
Looking forward to 333 auctions. Will participate. Don't know how deep I'll participate, just because Zen is a proof of participation network. But at the same time, and I've participated in DB Zen, participated in Phoenix. Um, I'm looking forward to Garbage Dump Zen. I tried out Xenomorph when that was around for a second, and that was sort of going. Um, I'm Xenophi, looking
Have you?
forward to.
Is that is that is that out now? Have you tried that?
I don't know if it's out yet. I have not tried it yet. I've looked at their site before they went live, before they were going live with everything. And so I think they're going to make a one-page home for people to do all things Zen with it, which might be cool. And so we'll see how that turns out. We have some recent stuff on being rehashed on like I did a repost on Crypto Bro talked about minting Zen for free. Technically they didn't mint Zen for free. They did a really cool. This sounds bad. I'm a total nerd here because I'm like, oh my god, that's so interesting how they figured that one out and they did that. But basically, people were having FTX pay for Zen, and the way they were doing that is they created a contract, sort of like CoinTool did with batch minting. And this contract would do, you just have to send a little bit of something. So they would send the smallest amount of ETH off to trigger it, where the contract then estimated the gas times like 24. So it would then go mint and claim in two functions and hold the gas to pay for that. But that's what it was saying, that it was gas to cover that. And so they were basically getting FTX to pay for their gas, because FTX they made the gas feature covered on withdrawing assets. So they would withdraw the minimum amount of assets, which was like 0.00035 or like 4035, triggering the contract, which would then batch mint and then claim those as well. And so I like to fix verbiage. No Zen was minted for free. It was all created the same exact way. Gas was paid. In this instance, gas was overpaid, so that it would then be funneled into creating these contracts and these open mints, and then those claiming those mints. And so, someone really figured out, one, how to game the system, because they were in a position to do that, and two, the fact that they built that is actually sort of cool if we think about it from a tech perspective. Now, this person then got a whole bunch of Zen for free, which they then, are dumping or dumped on the markets. And so, this is, but if we're looking at it from a perspective of, it's a free token to begin with, you're just paying gas fees. Well, gas fees were paid. So you really, they were benefiting from having a position and getting screwed out of by FTX. So yes, overall, not a cool move. I wish they'd use their brain to do something different, but you got to give that innovation. Like, okay, that was pretty smart.
That was really, wasn't it? Because I think I googled then ages ago, like before I started minting, and I think I saw a story on that, and I was like, oh. I think that was early. I wasn't a number one minter. I was like probably like week 2 or 3.
Yeah. Hey, that was still in it. I think I waited like I had one mint that was in the top 5,000. But I was on the aspect at the time was just get my hands on as much liquid Zen rather than thinking long term. And if I had done some long term mints and stuff like that, I would have been in a good position. But um, my focus was on Moonbeam, and working with getting all of that done within Moonbeam. So
interesting. So are you still minting on Moonbeam, or what chains are you minting on?
So I have active mints on all chains except ETH and Doge chain. I'm not doing anything on Doge chain at all.
Yeah, I've done Moonbeam, Avalanche, Binance, Polygon, Ethereum.
Yeah.
I think there's. It's hard. I don't know how you do them all. It's like a lot to keep track of.
Yeah. Well, so that was, Coin Tools was a really good piece for that, and batch minting from one wallet. What came from there was what I think Coin Tools allowed was people to use one wallet instead of multiple wallets. And then the Zen NFTs was really cool to see them come. So I claimed all of my stuff and participated, and so now it's just sort of a sit back and wait. What I have has zero value right now. And wait one day for X1.
Yeah, are you staking it?
No, I am not. I was doing staking for a minute with some, but then had to sell my positions for needs. And so met those needs, and was able to pay some bills, and yay.
Yeah, I've just staked some of my ETH Zen, and I think to do it for like, well, I can't remember if it was how many days it was. Maybe like 3. It was like four wallets for the full max. If I staked it for, I think it was 300 days or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I might as well, because if I can get 300 days and the gas isn't too high, and I've got, I don't know. I'm trying to make do with what I have, really. I don't want to mint too much. It's been okay with the gas, though. I have done some on ETH, but at one point it was so high.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
But I want more ETH mints. I think I want more of those.
Yeah. I think as it slowly gets drained out there, I think we'll see value and more use getting played in, in like Avalanche, Matic. I think that there's a really good opportunity for projects to build on those chains. We'll see how Pulse comes along, and what people continue to build there. FTM, obviously, that it sucks what happened there with multi-chain, and the founder's girlfriend getting arrested. So, that those access keys and those funds being sort of ruined, and that sort of sucks because we've seen that happen. And I used to be a huge proponent of multi-chain over Nomad. I seeing what has happened with oh my gosh, Wormhole, I think has a lot of room for growth. I'm really excited to see what Subsquid does with Axelar. And so because Axelar sort of bridges over like Cosmos ecosystems, as well as we're seeing Solana, or Wormhole also access Solana. And so if people choose to build there as well, we'll see. But one of the things that you got to remember, this has all been community driven on adoption and on liquidity. People could have waited for a year before pairing up liquidity. Like, let's see how many tokens get out there for a year first but people wanted to add liquidity to it, and put a wide price on it. We saw VMPX go from let's see here, 24 cents down to now at 4 cents. because it was profitable for people to mint and then sell, you know. And so as long as it is for that, we will see that. And this is the fact that I see a lot of people sort of get um, up in arms about, is if someone can make $1 on it, and that's it, just $1, for some people that is life changing, you know, especially in different countries, in different parts of the world. If your income is $3 a month, and you know, you save up, or you and another family save up, and you put in $5, and you're able to pull out six almost instantly, um, that, you know, that can be life changing. You know, you also got to look at that cost of living increase and cost of living piece to it. So I think Zen in different parts of the world really holds a lot of opportunity, where people are looking at those long-term mints, and what it takes to be profitable on it. You know, I know I'd put together some spreadsheets once to see what that looks like.
I also think that's good for adoption for Zen. If people can use it like that, then surely more people are going to want to use it, and it's good for adoption, you know?
Yeah. You know, and you know, one of the things I'm in talks with is with a coin processor, that if there's liquidity pools for a token, that they'll use that. You know, they take a fee, and so I'm in contract negotiations with them right now to see what that total fee will be, and then promote that to the Zen community and say, like, hey, if we're able to fund this, then you can go use your Zen on Shopify and buy anything on Shopify with Zen, you know?
That would be cool. Yeah, that'd be good. I heard that people in Asia are like using it. Like, I don't know, I think it was on a Crypto Kindness YouTube a long time ago that he said that it was very popular in Asia and people were spending it. Like, and I found that very interesting.
Yeah, it is. I see a lot of that all around the world happening. Asia and Africa, you know? So it's really cool to see. And then we get to see a lot of I haven't seen a lot of like Eastern, you know, Middle Eastern countries. I know they're there, but I haven't gotten to see a lot of people show up from those countries there, which would be really interesting to see. A lot of Eastern Bloc, you know, countries as well. So,
I mean, we have had it on Spaces before, in the Zen Spaces, a couple of people I remember from Iraq and stuff, and I thought that was really kind of cool, trying to go into space from Iraq. So there is a few, but yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, what it really, like, I think what it comes back to, especially like, you know, I gotta, you know, one of the things that I'm doing is sort of just, you know, partaking part of my Wednesday show to sort of, you know, talk Zen and Zen onboarding and Zen, you know, and different pieces of that. And that's sort of what I think we need to go back to is that onboarding piece of that, you know, and helping people walk through that, you know, and what that looks like, and getting people involved that way.
Definitely. So how are you preparing for the bull market? Like, are there other tokens that you're thinking might do well, or what are you doing to prepare for it? Because the last bull market is when I got in, and I didn't realize it was kind of, I was in a bull market. So I feel like this bull market will actually be my first that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
So how are you preparing for this?
With a seatbelt and my hand on my hat. I think this bull market might be different than what a lot of people are used to, because there's going to be a lot more money involved, because everyone is getting ready for the bull market now. So I think one of the ways to sort of prepare for it, I guess, is to sort like see who's building and what's coming out of the woodwork now. I'm not saying that things that show up, the day before the bull market or the day after the bull market happen are going to be bad. They just might not be ready for it. One of the things that I've seen with a lot of projects that have, like a 5 million market cap, they do not know what to do when overnight their market cap changes to 20 million. That I have seen that I have seen making money tear more teams apart over the last decade than losing money. When your market cap goes from 8 million to 5 million, you really see a community come together. When a market cap goes from 5 million to 20 million, teams almost don't even know what to do. They're not even prepared for that, for overnight stuff. And so it, how to prepare for that. You can look at that. You can look at it. How am I preparing for it? I go through a lot of Galaxy quests, see what's building out. I go through a lot of Zeely quests, see what's building out. And I go through a lot of Atlas quests as well. A lot of play to earn games, I think, as well, will have a really big aspect to it, especially as everyone's courting gaming companies and everyone's building a game. Gaming companies are coming into Web3. I think we'll see a huge aspect of the fashion industry move forward into in the next bull market. Because a lot of the major fashion brands they already have their own chain. They're all using I'm going to pronounce it wrong. Aurora, I think is what is it's not Aurora. Aurora is a Near is the EVM, and Aurora Plus is the EVM version of Near. But seeing so it's Aurora, I think is what it's called. Seeing those aspects of the physical digital, come about. I got to sit with a friend of mine yesterday, talk with her. She hates the word NFT. She loves digital. She wants the terminology digital asset. And I'm like, well, not every digital asset, not every NFT has a physical counterpart to it, So, and just because you have the digital asset doesn't mean you have the physical asset, or it hasn't been claimed yet. And so, but as we see fashion start to get into it too, we'll see that drip down from there as we see gaming companies move away from the terminology of wallets and NFTs to like IGAs and accounts. Everyone knows what an account is. Everyone is used to having one of those. And an IGA, an in-game asset is pretty self-explanatory. But if I can take that IGA from PlayStation and go play it in my Nintendo Switch game, that's amazing. I don't need to know the infrastructure behind it. So that's where it comes to the builders. There's two ways of looking at it. Things so simple that you can explain it to anyone, but that's at a surface level. Like, oh yeah, you just create an account with this, pick which game assets you like, and you can move them to your other game. But then it's so complicated that no one cares how it works, only that it does. Like cell phone transmission, on a base level, yeah, I know my voice is converted into ones and zeros, sent to a tower, which is then sent to a satellite, which is then sent to another tower, which is then sent to broadcast live, on Xenon. My the ones and zeros is put on chain, so it's really, there's so many different cool things that are happening, or broadcasted to LinkedIn at the same time, and YouTube. We're seeing there's just
on the gaming.
Yeah.
My husband, he works for EA. He's quite high up. He makes games, and I can tell you been a lot of different conversations with blockchain, different people coming into the job higher up that are more pro blockchain too. So I think we will see a lot of change in the next couple of years.
I don't want you to divulge your husband's name. That's, you know, maybe a private conversation. I might have worked for your husband at one point because I worked for EA, you know.
Oh God. Well, you depends on when. He's been there for probably 4 or 5 years, so it depends on when you work for EA, but yes.
So 2018, 2019, I was a community dev liaison for Command and Conquer Rivals, the mobile version of Command and Conquer.
He wouldn't have been there then.
Okay. Yeah.
He does makes a lot of race car games like Need for Speed and stuff.
Okay.
But yeah.
I have played his games.
Yeah, I'm trying to like the next games. I'm really like trying to get him to do tags of like maybe Zen or something.
It's really hilarious. My friends put out a what happened here? Friends put out a version of they have a race car game, and they put out a Twitter X car the same day that, like, you know, so that Zen was making some big moves on some stuff. So I was like, we got a Zen car ready to go over at Meta Rides. And so it was sort of cool there.
Oh yeah, like I've done a few AI with like cars and, you know, playing around a bit. My husband obsessed with cars. Yeah, we like cars and F1.
Okay.
And
nice.
Gaming.
Yeah. There's some amazing stuff there in the gaming side. You know, like you know, heck, you know, playing a game right now that, you know, I know the founders of, and you know, looking at, you know, one of the things that they're talking about is the what is it? You know, other assets and tokens that can be put into it. You know, one of the things that, you know, just using it to educate and to spread, you know, it can be fun on it.
There is much money made in games, like with crypto. I'm telling you, like, you know, these kids these days, they're buying stuff. They want the coolest outfit. They want the coolest car. They want to upgrade things, and there's a lot of money to be made.
Yeah, there is, and there's a ton there. So it's sort of cool to see how much gets put into it, you know. So I love it, you know. Just looking at there's just so many cool things, you know, handouts and everything like that, you know, to get people involved and to get them playing is crazy. And like BR1, which I'm playing now, it literally, you can do communities versus communities. That was the idea that they made behind it, you know. So yeah, it's there's just so many cool things, you know. So what else are you doing in the car world, game wise?
I mean, my husband, like, car.
You said you're really into cars too.
No. I've been messing around with the AI a little bit.
Yeah.
No, my husband, I don't know actually what he's working on at the moment. I'm not sure. And if I did know, I wouldn't be allowed to say, to be honest.
Yeah.
Told him, shush. But he did the last game with, is it Rihanna's guy? What's his name? God, I'm so like, that rapper that Rihanna's just had a baby with. He was on the last game, wasn't he? So
I wouldn't even know that's how out of touch with like music I've been these years. The last, if you ask me, all right, cool, what what NFT artist, musician, I'm like, oh, I can, there's the guy, um Jashaki, he just did a thing with like at Gary at VCon, and then he won did a collab with Jordan Sparks, and then that was distributed by Gala Music, or Emily Lazar, and if people like their metal music, so that's some fun stuff there,
Yeah, what game tokens do you think will be good, like in the bull run?
Mana, it will be good. Solana, we'll see a lot of, I think, here we'll go via chain on this game that I know, and I will try to not be biased on things, but I think DOT is going to have a big uptake.
Yes, I have a lot of DOT. Please tell me that, because I need to, I paid like top dollar. Well, I wouldn't say top dollar, but like it was the bull run and I didn't realize. So I need to make gains. So I hope DOT comes back. And I have Gala.
Yeah. Well, if you have DOT, I would look at getting a Nova wallet.
I don't have those. I don't even know what a Nova wallet is. What is that?
So Nova wallet is an EVM wallet that also integrates into all of the Polkadot parachains.
So I had a Fearless wallet and I found it terrible.
Fearless is terrible. Nova is clean. Like I can, like I'm going into my Nova wallet and it's right next to my Fearless wallet, which is right underneath my, I have like 0.001 Raven coin still, but you can go, you can vote and you can stake like the new Ivan Arch chain and stuff like that in crowd loans and parachains.
I did the crowd loans on Fearless. I did it with Polkadot, and I think I did one with Kusama too. And so it's locked up. I'm not even sure how long it's locked up for.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to do Fearless again. I think it's just a terrible wallet.
Yeah. I think you'll like Nova. I'm looking at my Nova right now. Because you see your DOT. There's a ton of stuff going in on Moonbeam. Moonwell as well is going to really take off. Moonwell token is up 62% over the last week because of Moonwell is providing the big liquidity layer underneath build on base. And so you can see your ETH, your Kusama, your 3D Pass, your Akala, Ajuna, Aleph, Altair, Amplitude, a Star. So all 28 parachains you can see and interact with and bridge over, all from one spot.
Cool. When I get my DOT back, and I do have more, I'll probably just move it all to Nova if it's a good wallet then.
Yeah. Well, so you can integrate that wallet, that seed phrase into Nova, and you can turn those into liquid stake positions as well, so that you're still staked, but you now have a liquid position as well. So, stake DOT, ST DOT. There's just so much cool stuff to do. Bifrost Bridge has spots to where you can have DOT staked, have liquid, and still benefit from being staked and you know, what I've seen some people do is they'll take their liquid position and then they'll swap that, then restake it, and then they'll do a degen box on that so that it really amplitudes their staking power as well.
Cool. I've kind of like left that all to the side and haven't really paid attention to it.
Yeah.
Kind of got into Zen, was doing the Zen, but I do like, I'm like, crap. Like when they started doing like Moonbeam, I was like, damn, I got loads of Moonbeam because I was stacking up on it. So I was like, okay, I'll use that to min.
Yeah.
And I have all these tokens that I bought, and then it kind of all went very bearish. And now I need to kind of go through everything. I've got like, what else did I buy that I just haven't touched? Near Cadena.
Please tell me you at least stake. You at least stake these.
Not all of them, some of them.
Okay. Yeah.
Not all of them.
Just so you're at least earning, you know?
Yeah, I did stake the Polkadot. I think I am staking the Kusama. Yeah, I am staking the Kusama. Maybe I need to check that.
Yeah.
But I did at one point. I kind of like had it on a centralized exchange ages ago and like freaked out and was like pulling it off, and and then started staking it, I think, through Fearless.
Yeah. No, it's it's there's just so much to be done. So yeah.
Are you staking your ETH?
I do not have enough ETH to stake at this moment.
What's the minimum you need to have? Just wondering.
For any good protocol, you know, I would say around $100. You know, you can do Rocket Pool, which is like any amount. You can find some really good staking platforms within Beefy. They have 19 chains with the different liquidity pools, so you can just sort of zap into them with the native chain. And they.
Do you think it's worth staking your ETH?
So are you talking about staking ETH into a liquidity pool or staking ETH to support the network?
I was thinking more liquidity pool.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of good opportunities for that. There's a lot of good stable pools to where you know, you're earning anywhere from 4% to 24%. If you're looking at, you know, one-sided staking to certain tokens, seeing those, let me see here real quick. Let's see here. I'm going to look at this real quick to just sort of see what we have as availability, what there is available. Just on each side. You know, you can stake your ETH into Curve, and that's 210% APY with a point, so that's a 0.3114%. The TVL is low on that because of all the issues with Curve. But there's also like CVX FPIS, which is on Curve, and that's paying 96% APY. There's some synthetic ETH LPs, Balancer, you know, staking ETH into ApeCoin, that pays 29%.
I'm going to have to look through all this. My husband's been asking me about it. He's like, should I stake my ETH? And I'm like, I don't know. And no one's ever told me they stake their ETH. So I'm just wondering who's staking.
At one point I did, you know, just to like Rocket Pool. You can even, I think you still can. Let me double check this real quick. I think you can stake ETH directly through. Used to be able to stake ETH directly through MetaMask.
Wow, that's crazy.
And so let me see real quick. But there's a lot of different ways of supporting the network that way. But in LP pools, you'll find some of your biggest pieces on that. I know. So one of my friends, Roman, he just had his protocol just had an amazing space with Arbitrum. They launched on Arbitrum and Avalanche, and they're looking at other chains to where you can take your initial investment, let's say $100, and you pick one of the interest-bearing yield strategies, and from there, you get your interest up front, while your yield is non-liquidating and it's just earning interest that pays off your loan. So you can go be part of something like that on Savvy and Savvy DeFi, which is actually doing a lot of stuff new right now on Arbitrum to sort of get ready to launch their next step. But they got a huge backing from Arbitrum and a lot of the community in that, to where people are going to be able to make like those big banker plays. So there's a lot of cool stuff like that.
That sounds cool. Have you provided any liquidity for Zen at all?
I did in the beginning. I did on Moonbeam as well. And obviously the market chose to not be at that price, and this was back in November last year. And so ended up getting liquidated out of that because people wanted the market wasn't at that price. So
do you think it's a good time to be providing liquidity if I was to get into it now, or do you think because of the market wait till things turn?
So if you're providing liquidity right now, I would recommend doing a wide range on price movement. One for it to go down, and or also for it to what's the word I'm thinking of here? For it to go really wide, I guess. Wide. The narrower your price range, the more impermanent loss that you can have. And so if you're not worried about either side of the token, and that's why we see a lot of like, what is the word I'm thinking of? Exotic pairing. And with the exotic pairing, you might not really care which token you have as long as you have both tokens. And so, we'll see those pairings with Zen and DBZen, or Zen and, some other ERC20 token or EVM token. You don't really care which one you get. And so I think providing liquidity on other chains other than ETH, that will draw interest to those chains. And, we might see some more innovation and stuff like that come from them.
Yeah, I'm definitely not going to touch ETH, to be honest, because I've never provided liquidity. If I do it, I'll do it on a smaller chain. But, I haven't been burning recently, and I thought maybe I'll just dip my toes in and see. I haven't done it yet, but thinking about it. So yeah, I think the most important thing is making sure you're happy with either side, either of the coins, right?
Yeah. And so, you can do, like, if the tighter range you have it, what that means is you're seeing that price action between that range, a minimum and a high end. And so if it goes outside of those ranges, either way, you're basically out of action. and your liquidity has moved all the way to that one side. So let's say, just for, argument's sake, Zen and USDC. Well, if everyone wants to start buying Zen, your pool of Zen will disappear, and then if you have it in too tight of a price range, and then you'll just have USDC. You won't have any more Zen. If everyone starts selling their Zen for USDC, you'll have a whole bunch of Zen and you won't have any USDC. If you give it a wider price range, then that price can fluctuate within that, and as long as it's still within that, you'll have a balanced piece of it.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna dip my toes in at some point soon, but small amounts, and just see what happens. Smaller chain.
Yeah. One of my suggestions that I make to a lot of people, to begin with, is just so you can sort of see what that looks like, what an LP pool looks like if you're putting in two sides, USDT and USDC. So if you put in $10 on each side, it's a $20 value, but you'll see that price movement of how your pool goes more towards USDC if people are trying to trade for USDT, or if they're trying to trade for USDC, you'll have more USDT. But at the end, you still sort of have that $20 minus any price differences, so you'll see the value slowly go up, but you'll also collect those fees on all of those trades.
Yeah, that's actually a good idea. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Maybe I should do that. Those stable coins.
So you don't really have to worry too much about impermanent loss, because it's $1 for, you have $1, and a dollar equals $1. But you get to see, you can more readily see visually real quickly what that looks like.
Yeah, thanks. That's good advice.
Yeah. Anything, I think I'm gonna wrap this up now, but since you're up here, you get to help us close out. Before we got one of the things we're going to be listening to tonight is the weekly recap on Sunday to help cover that, the midweek recap. So what is words and thoughts and words of wisdom and closing thoughts, Crypto Mom?
Okay. Just ignore the noise, stay positive. First principles. Don't judge others for what they want to invest in. Well, it's free market, and I'm just try to stay positive. The noise, just ignore the FUD.
Yeah.
And keep learning.
Heck yeah, I will continue that thought piece, and don't put fuel in the fire, and don't be part of the fire or even watching it. That's the best way for a fire to go out, by not even being near it. Let that dumpster fire be by itself. Because my classic saying is, even if you're dragging someone through the mud, you're still going to get mud on yourself.
That's true. Yeah.
No need to do that in any way, shape, or form. And at the same time, work hard to sort of like keep your mind open to different things. We're going to be talking about, there's a lot of crazy stuff with Hex going on right now. So, what do you want to be part of? And, support those that support others is my sort of thing. But as I close every episode, I close with my same words of wisdom and the worst knock-knock joke on the best knock-knock joke on the face of the planet. And that is, my words of wisdom are: a closed mouth cannot be fed, and you cannot feed a closed mouth. And that means that if no one knows you're looking for opportunity cannot come a knocking. If opportunity does come knocking and no one's there to answer, it's gonna keep on walking. And so I just want to do a quick shout out. Thank you to everyone for joining us on Xenon, Twitch, YouTube 2, LinkedIn, Discord, Telegram, and Twitter, and everyone that's joined us today, as we've sort of just had a good conversation about being part of good projects and how things might shape in the future, and different tools you can use to look through them. And so for those that are new, this is how we end every episode, is we end with the worst, best knock knock joke on the face of the planet. It's done out of love and respect for those that came before us and those that will come after us. And so, you know, Crypto Mom, you get to help me with the worst knock knock joke on the face of the planet. Are you ready?
I will try.
All right. Don't be surprised. It's gonna, but this is done out of love, but we're gonna ask everyone. Knock knock.
Who's there?